What's up, guys? Welcome back to Cody's Movie Cave. So, like I said, we're hands-free again. I am digging this new light stand. It is life-changing for me. I like to use my hands when I talk, so get used to it. Yeah, just watched a movie a couple of minutes ago. It was pretty good. It wasn't nothing great or outstanding. It's one of those one and done type movies, you know. You watch it one time and you're like, wasn't a complete waste of time, but don't really care to revisit it. The name of that movie is The Enforcer. It's out now on streaming. I actually posted a trailer of it a couple days ago. It's got Antonio Banderas in it, aka Zorro. Anyway, so yeah, The Enforcer. Like I said, it's out on streaming now. Not free or anything. You actually got to pay for it, so which I did. But anyway, The Enforcer. This movie is your standard go-to crime, mob enforcer type movie. Goes around collecting debts and busting heads. But Antonio Banderas, he's great. He's good in anything. It's worth the watch just for him. I enjoy most of his movies, most of his catalog of work. But yeah, he plays this character called Kuda. It's a great name. Cool, bad and tough name for a gangster, right? Anyway, he plays Kuda, the title enforcer, and fix that real quick. So yeah, he sort of takes under his wing this street fighter kid named Stray. Who later reveals his name to be Ricky. So yeah, Stray is a tougher name than Ricky. No offense to any Rickies out there. It's a great name, but it's just not something you want to use if you're trying to get a rep as a head buster, a wig splitter, as they say. Anyway, Stray becomes Kuda's protege, and to which they both work for this female gangster boss named Estelle, who's played by Kate Bosworth. You remember that movie Blue Crush that came out way back there? The blonde chick from it? That's her. She hadn't really done much of anything of note since, but anyway, I digress. And Kuda takes Stray under his wing, kind of teaches him the ropes, the ways of the street life, and which is appropriate name, Stray. He takes in the stray, get it? A little ironicity there, or that's not even a word, but anyway, takes Stray in, teaches him, and at the same time he sort of attaches himself to this young 15-year-old homeless girl who gets caught shoplifting, and so Kuda kind of steps in, gets her out of trouble, sets her up at a motel, somewhere to stay, have food, and so really Kuda is this hitman with a heart of gold type situation. We've seen him before, but Antonio Banderas plays the part good. He comes off very compassionate, at the same time tough, which is hard to do, really. Tough guy that's got a heart of gold. It's conflicting personalities. Anyway, she winds up and gets taken into this ring of bad stuff we won't talk about. Anyway, and so he goes after her, tries to find her, and trouble ensues. Won't spoil anything or the ending or anything like that, but yeah, it's pretty much your cliche standard crime hitman movie. The trailer kind of sets it up as being an action film, but I don't know, there's not really a lot of action scenes in this movie. The end has got one or two, and there's a few fights here and there, but as far as overall action, you will be let down, I'm sorry to tell you. Even though the poster's got Antonio holding a gun on the poster, they think that'll sell it, but anyway, not a whole lot of action, so don't go in it for that. It's decent, like I said, Antonio Banderas does a good performance and all that, but it's just one of those that's been done, and there's nothing really fresh about it. It didn't stand out as any of the rest of them that's been done similar in this sort of subgenre of movies. But yeah, The Enforcer's all right. If you're a fan of Antonio Banderas, which I am, you'll appreciate it. I won't say you'll like it, but you'll say he did a fine job. Great job? No, but did a fine job. You know, Antonio Banderas over the past couple of years has kind of started to fade, you know. Happens with anything, you know, you start getting older and you just, you know, especially in Hollywood, you don't get offered as many parts. But yeah, he started to do these sort of straight to streaming on demand type movies, which is a shame because he's a great talent, you know. He's he's a legend, and I enjoyed all of his, you know, earlier movies. Mask of Zorro was fantastic. Check that one out. He did Assassins with Sly Stallone. So he's done a bunch of good ones. Once Upon a Time in Mexico, really great. So yeah, he's got some good action cred under his resume, but I don't know. I wish he'd just make a comeback. I wish they would be a project he could get his hands on and make a true blue good comeback movie to sort of put him back in the mainstream. He was actually in a movie pretty recently called Uncharted, and I'll do a review on that and kind of discuss that a little later, but he played the villain in that. Did a fine job. So yeah, Antonio Banderas he's been plugging along, and like I said, if you're a fan of his, you'll appreciate this movie and may even enjoy it, may even like it, who knows. But it's an hour and 30 minutes, so it's not long. It's a quick watch, you know. I'm sure Netflix will get it eventually. It's one of those type of movies you see on Netflix under their action page or Prime movie page. But yeah, The Enforcer, it's brand spanking new, fresh out the gate, streaming this past weekend, this past Friday. Just had a chance to watch it, and like I said, one and done. I'm good. Wouldn't revisit it again probably, but you know, it is what it is. Like I said, it was an hour and 30 minutes of something to do, something to watch. You can buy it, rent it on the big platforms like Vudu, Amazon, and Apple as usual. It's like I said, it's not streaming anywhere free right yet because it's just, I'm talking about fresh baby doo-doo new. You know what I'm saying? So it's right out there. You'll have to shell out at least 14 bucks to buy it, maybe 6 or 7 to rent it. I'd be more where I went, you know, pay 8 bucks to rent it. It's you know, whatever. As always, this has been a review on The Enforcer starring Antonio Banderas. You gotta say it like that. You can't just say Antonio Banderas. He is a Spanish legend from Spain. You gotta say, you gotta give it that flair he deserves. Antonio Banderas. Anyway, The Enforcer. It's rated R. It's not for the kids. It's got a lot of language in it, unfortunately, and the violence is there's some pretty bloody spots in it when it does get to the violence, but you know, whatever. It's got some nudity, you know, your standard crime movie vices are in this one. So anyway, as always, my humble opinion, and opinions are like the old backsides. Everybody's got one. Most of them, all of them stink.